You know, the leftism of people like Joe Biden and California Governor Gavin Newsom can be seen in a concentrated form in all sorts of cities. And one of the worst is San Francisco, where government diktats and taxes and disrespect for natural rights and even utter cronyism have left the city a foul shell of a former civilization. But even as homelessness and unemployment consume the Bay Area, is it possible that someone can use that as an entrepreneurial and teaching opportunity? Well, let's find out. Hi everyone, I'm Gardner Goldsmith for MRC-TV. You know, a little while back, while chatting with my friend Eric Peters, whose website offers visitors insights into automotive innovations, quality, and the pressures of politicians on consumers and manufacturers of automobiles, I had a thought that actually seems to have been anticipated, maybe in a manner of speaking, by someone on the West Coast. Eric and I were chatting about the political push to mandate electric vehicles, EVs, which are both extremely expensive and highly deceptive when it comes to claims of environmental benefits and even claims about efficiency. And we were discussing how poorly EVs were selling, even as the EVs have to be kept charged in their unsold state, sitting there on the lot, draining energy and cash. And I was struck by an inspiration. I figured that, well, since Disney has run its adventure vacations in places like the desert southwest of the United States, and since Disney's woke approach to its films and theme parks has recently seen profits decline, well, why not try a different kind of adventure tour that focuses on U.S. largesse and waste? They could call it the Political Pork Tour and go to almost any state, showing the misspent money, the resources that politicians snatch from people to shift into things those people would not have bought themselves, or they might have bought in different levels or over different time frames. Well, it turns out that in the lovely fecal-strewn city of San Francisco, someone kind of beat me to it. This is called the Doom Loop Walking Tour, and it lets people enjoy a guided tour of the politically created squalor that they might encounter on their own if they just walk the streets there at any given time in San Francisco. As Gretchen Clayson reports for the Daily Caller, quote, "A new sold-out tour has emerged in San Francisco, promising to provide visitors a glimpse of the urban decay that has taken hold of one of America's wealthiest cities. The Doom Loop Walking Tour promises an up-close and personal view of open-air drug markets, the abandoned tech offices, the outposts of the nonprofit industrial complex, and the deserted department stores that make up downtown San Francisco." You've read the headlines, you've seen the tweets, now get close and personal to the doom and squalor of downtown San Francisco. Yep, San Francisco long has had a gutter-level reputation of driving away entry-level jobs and driving away low-price market housing. One wonders if any of the people driven into poverty and homelessness by the government can start their own endeavors as tour guides, or if the leftist government there might lock them down again, or impose new licensing fees or new minimum wage mandates that, yes, as usual, destroy jobs and would destroy this new expanding field of opportunity. The opportunity to see how opportunities have been crushed by government. If you possibly detect a recursive feedback loop there, yeah, you're not alone. And the creator of the tour seems to be with you. Quote, "The anonymous tour guide, a self-proclaimed political junkie and opinionated loudmouth, is a card-carrying city commissioner and co-founder of one of the city's largest neighborhood associations. The guide glibly declared the tour was created as a result of his mental health crisis after spending hundreds of hours on both sides of the government dais, shouting into the opposite abyss. And Clayton notes, quote, promising tourists they will find no better expert, the guide assures that patrons will discover the policy choices that made America's wealthiest city the nation's innovative leader of housing crisis, addiction crisis, mental health crisis, and unrepentant crime crisis. In neighborhoods like San Francisco's Tenderloin District, homelessness, drug abuse, and crime reign supreme. There, drug users abuse substances out in the open. Businesses use incense to cover up the stench of human excrement that litter the sidewalks, and broken glass from car windows litter the streets, the Financial Times reported. All of which are things to which I can testify after visiting the city years ago. Coming up from the subway at night near Mission Street, the first thing I detected was human fecal matter all over the sidewalk. Later, near the intersection of 16th Street and Mission, I got to enjoy the sight of a homeless guy sleeping on the roof of a burned-out windowless car. A guy being berated by a junkie transvestite wearing a sequin top that shimmered in the misty morning light with every angry breath the she-male expelled. It is, by far, the ugliest, dirtiest, most unpleasant city I have ever visited. And it only has gotten worse since my visit. Quote, shoplifting has become such an issue that grocery stores and drugstores have been forced to either shutter their stores or alter their operating hours to deal with the rising crime. One such Walgreens in the Richmond district is reportedly hit by shoplifters 15 to 20 times a day. To cope, Walgreens has been forced to put locks on their freezers, one of the hardest hit sections of the store. The way to improve it is to get the policymakers and welfare pushers and regulators out of there. It's imperative that people cut back the political interference in business and housing endeavors and allow for freedom. Quote, how can a city with a $14.6 billion annual budget be a model of urban decay? How can it spend $776.8 million per year on police and have no rule of law to show for it? How can it spend $690 million on homeless services and receive an official United Nations condemnation for its treatment of the homeless? Cruel and inhuman, violation of multiple human rights. The tour guide posted. The 1.5-mile tour will take visitors from City Hall through the city's Tenderloin District, Union Square, and Mid-Market, with all proceeds donated to a nonprofit that does not actively degrade its community. Yeah, San Francisco is in an absolutely accelerated state of decay, and the powers in charge there seem completely disinterested in recognizing the freedom needed to let people get jobs and good places to live. Perhaps this tour will help wake up a few people, be they from the area or from other cities, witnessing the effects of oppressive government restrictions on markets and insane government policies regarding property theft and criminality. We will see. If you go on the tour, let us know. And if you're from the area, let us know how much longer you plan on staying, because a lot of people have been fleeing San Francisco. I wonder why. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Please like and subscribe. Remember, if you're watching us on YouTube, yes, they do censor us there. Please like and subscribe there. Make sure you're subscribed. But visit us at Rumble. The MRC-TV channel on Rumble is growing by leaps and bounds, and they don't censor us at Rumble, which is great. Of course, you can find the whole team at MRCTV.org, MRCTV.org. Open up a new tab, check out what's happening there, and consider donating to the Media Research Center. We can definitely use your help. You can also find us on Instagram and on TikTok, and you can find us on Twitter and on Facebook. On Twitter, I'm at Gard Goldsmith, and on Gab, I'm at Gardner Goldsmith, if you want to find me. For MRC TV, I'm Gardner Goldsmith.